The signal from beyond. Commander Layla Rise rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the pulsing waveform on her monitor. 3 consecutive night shifts at Lunar Listening Post Theta had yielded nothing but cosmic background noise and the occasional satellite chatter. Until now. "Dr. Alvarez, you need to see this," she called, her voice echoing through the quiet monitoring room. The astrophysicist hurried over, coffee sloshing in his mug. His eyes widened as he watched the pattern repeat with mathematical precision. "That's not natural," he whispered. "Too ordered, too intentional." The signal had appeared suddenly, a rhythmic series of pulses and pauses that defied any known human communication protocol. More concerning was its origin. A star system over 30 light-years away with no known transmission capability. "Run it through the Sagan protocol," Rise ordered, referring to the automated first contact response system developed decades ago for this exact scenario. Within minutes, the station's quantum computers were dissecting the signal structure. "It's breaking down into mathematical constants," Alvarez said, excitement building in his voice. "Prime numbers, the value of pi, the fine structure constant. This is a primer, Commander. Someone's trying to establish communication basics." Within hours, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session. The signal was being received by listening posts worldwide, and the implications were staggering. Humanity was not alone, and whoever was reaching out had mastered interstellar communication. Admiral Helena Wright, head of Earth's United Defense Force, addressed the assembled leaders. At 63, she carried herself with the rigid posture of someone who had spent a lifetime in military service. "The signal contains more than just mathematical constants," she explained. "Our cryptographers have decoded what appears to be a distress call." The chamber erupted in murmurs as Wright continued. "They call themselves the Chiron. Their message describes an invasion by something they call the Void Collective. Their worlds are being systematically conquered, their people harvested." The holographic display activated, showing translation attempts alongside strange, flowing symbols. Images followed, grainy and distorted, but clear enough to show elegant, slender beings with iridescent skin fleeing from shadowy, mechanical organic hybrids. "They've included technical schematics," Wright said. "Advanced propulsion systems, weapons designs, and detailed star charts marking Void Collective movements. They're not just asking for help, they're giving us the means to reach them." "This could be a trap," the Chinese representative argued, "drawing us out, testing our capabilities." "Or a genuine cry for help," countered the representative from Kenya. These Chiron appeared desperate. Dr. Maya Patel, Earth's leading xenobiologist, stepped forward. "There's something else we've discovered in their biological data. The Chiron evolved on a world with approximately 0.7 Earth gravity, with an atmosphere rich in helium, and significantly less radiation than Earth receives. Their physical structure suggests minimal natural predation." "What's your point, Doctor?" asked Admiral Wright. "In their terminology, Earth would be classified as what they call the Deathworld, a planet so inherently hostile that it produces extremely hardy life forms. If their data is accurate, the average human would be several times stronger than the average Chiron, with greater bone density, muscle mass, and resistance to environmental extremes." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "You're saying we're naturally more physically capable than these aliens?" the British representative asked. "Not just the Chiron," Patel replied. "According to their xenobiological database, most intelligent species evolved in relatively benign environments. The conditions that shaped humanity, high gravity, atmospheric oxygen, extreme temperature variations, and high radiation, are rare among worlds that produce advanced civilizations." Admiral Wright's expression hardened. "If these Void Collective forces are adapted to fighting species like the Chiron, then they may be unprepared for what humans can do," Patel finished. The debate lasted for days. Some nations urged caution, others isolation. But as the Chiron transmission continued, providing more details about the Void Collective's inexorable advance and their systematic harvesting of conquered species. A consensus emerged. Humanity would answer the call. Project Prometheus was initiated, Earth's first interstellar defense fleet. 10 warships, leveraging both human innovation and the advanced propulsion concepts shared by the Chiron. Captain Ilara Chen of the UDF Dauntless was appointed fleet commander. Chen had made her reputation during the South China Sea crisis, where her unconventional tactics had prevented all-out war. At 42, she combined tactical brilliance with a philosopher's perspective, exactly what was needed for humanity's first contact with alien species. "We're not just going to war," Chen told her assembled officers aboard the Dauntless. "We're making first contact, establishing diplomatic relations, and potentially changing humanity's place in the universe forever." Lieutenant Commander Jackson, her tactical officer, nodded. The Chiron data suggests the Void Collective avoids direct confrontation with species from high-gravity worlds. They've marked Earth with a extreme hazard designation. "Good," Chen replied. "We'll use that to our advantage." Dr. Emma Rivera, the fleet's chief xenolinguist, pulled up the latest translation matrices. The Chiron language is fascinating, based entirely on mathematical relationships. It's like they evolved to think in equations. "Any further insights on the Void Collective?" Chen asked. "They're not a natural species," Rivera explained. "From what we can gather, they began as an artificial intelligence created by a long-extinct race. They evolved into something between machine and organism, incorporating biological components from conquered species into their collective. And they're heading toward another Chiron colony," Jackson added, "one that hasn't yet fallen." Chen studied the star charts. "That's our destination then. If we can reach this colony before the collective, we might be able to establish a defensive position." The launch day arrived with global attention. Humanity's first interstellar mission would carry 3,500 personnel across 10 ships, armed with both human ingenuity and Chiron technology. The fleet assembled in Earth orbit, massive vessels gleaming in the sunlight. Admiral Wright delivered her final briefing to Captain Chen in the Dauntless's command center. "Our deep space monitoring stations detected something disturbing," Wright said quietly. "After we responded to the Chiron signal, anomalous energy signatures appeared at the edge of our solar system. They disappeared before we could identify them." "You think something followed the signal back to us?" Chen asked. Wright nodded grimly. "It's possible, which means while you're out there helping the Chiron, we'll be strengthening Earth's defenses here. This mission could be bringing war to our doorstep. Should we abort?" "No. If these beams are targeting space-capable civilizations, they'd find us eventually. Better to meet them on our terms with potential allies." Wright handed Chen a data crystal. "These are your final orders. Open them once you're beyond Neptune's orbit." As the fleet prepared for departure, Chen made her way to the observation deck. Earth hung below, blue and white, and achingly beautiful. How many other worlds like it existed out there? How many had already fallen to the Void Collective? The comm system crackled to life. "All ships report ready, Captain," her XO announced. Chen took one last look at humanity's homeworld. "Fleet Command, this is the Dauntless. Begin departure sequence." One by one, the massive warships fired their engines, breaking free from Earth orbit. As they passed the moon, Chen gave the order to engage the new drive systems based on Chiron technology. Space seemed to stretch around them. Stars blurred. The ships accelerated to speeds humanity had only dreamed of, vanishing into the depths of space. Behind them, on Earth's surface, Admiral Wright ordered increased defense readiness across all stations. The journey had begun. There was no turning back now. In the darkness between stars, the fleet continued its journey for 3 months. The crew trained relentlessly, preparing for every scenario they could imagine for first contact. Scientists refined their understanding of Chiron biology and language, while engineers integrated more of the alien technology into Earth's systems. Chen was reviewing tactical simulations when the alert sounded. "Captain, we're detecting an energy signature ahead," Lieutenant Commander Jackson reported. "It matches the Chiron transmitter configuration." "Full stop," Chen ordered. "All ships, defensive formation Theta." The view screen activated, revealing a small vessel drifting in space. Its elegant curves were marred by what appeared to be massive impact damage. "Life signs?" Chen asked. "Faint readings," the science officer replied. "Some kind of stasis technology is active." Chen made her decision quickly. "Prepare a boarding team. Full environmental protocols. I want Dr. Rivera and a medical team ready." Within an hour, the boarding party returned with 3 survivors, the first non-humans humanity had ever encountered face-to-face. The Chiron were tall and willowy, with 4 upper limbs and iridescent skin that pulsed with inner light. Their large, multifaceted eyes regarded the humans with a mixture of fear and wonder. In the specially prepared containment chamber with adjusted atmosphere and gravity, Dr. Rivera established communication. "You understood our call," the eldest Chiron said through the translation device. "You came." "We are humans, from Earth," Rivera explained. "We received your distress signal." The Chiron looked at each other, then back at the strange beings before them. "Not like us. Heavy beings. How do you move in such density?" Rivera realized they were talking about human physiology. "This is our natural form. We evolved on a high-gravity world." The lead Chiron, who introduced himself as Thalir, seemed astonished. "You breathe nitrogen-oxygen. Your bodies contain calcium and iron. The legends speak of worlds so harsh that life becomes formidable, but we never truly believed." "Deathworlders," whispered another Chiron. "The prophecies spoke of their coming." Chen stepped forward. "We've come to help. Tell us about the Void Collective." Thalir's inner light dimmed slightly. "They were created eons ago as servants. Their creators perished, but the collective remained, evolving, growing. They do not conquer, they assimilate. They absorb species that have traits they value." "And they value yours?" Chen asked. "Our empathic abilities," Thalir explained. "We naturally form psychic networks. The collective seeks to incorporate this trait." "How many of your people remain?" "Perhaps 200,000 on Nilara, the colony world we were fleeing to when our ship was damaged. Once we numbered billions." Thalir's voice carried profound sorrow. "The collective advances there now." As they integrated the Chiron survivors' data into their systems, the human scientists discovered something alarming. "Captain, you need to see this," Dr. Rivera called from a terminal. "The Void Collective has a catalog of thousands of worlds, including Earth." Chen leaned over her shoulder, studying the alien text that the translation program was processing. "They've marked worlds with threat assessments," Rivera continued. "Earth is classified as extreme risk, high reward with a notation. Avoid direct confrontation. Suitable for remote harvesting only." "Remote harvesting?" Chen asked. Thalir approached, his luminescent skin pulsing with what they now recognized as anxiety. They would not risk confronting Deathworlders directly. Instead, they would sterilize your planet from orbit, then collect your genetic material and technology afterward. Chen's expression hardened. "Not if we stop them first." "How long until they reach Nilara?" 20 of your Earth days," Thalir replied. "Then we have no time to waste." Chen returned to the bridge and addressed the fleet. "Set course for the Nilara colony. Maximum speed. We're about to show the Void Collective what happens when you threaten a species from a death world." As the fleet accelerated toward its destination, Chen opened Admiral Wright's sealed orders. The holographic message was brief. "Captain Chen, if you're reading this, you've encountered the Chiron and confirmed their story. Your mission parameters have expanded. You are now authorized to engage the Void Collective using any means necessary to protect both the Chiron and Earth. The fate of 2 species now rests in your hands." Godspeed. Chen closed the message and stared out at the stars rushing past. Humanity's first venture beyond its solar system had become a rescue mission, a first contact, and potentially a war, all at once. But if the Void Collective thought that humans would be easy prey, they were about to learn a harsh lesson. Earth might be considered a death world to the rest of the galaxy, but to humanity it was simply home, and they had evolved to overcome everything it had thrown at them. Now they would show the universe what that meant. Deathworlders rising. The UDF Dauntless dropped out of FTL on the edge of the Nilara system, followed by the rest of Earth's fleet. Captain Chen studied the tactical display as sensor data poured in. Multiple contacts near the third planet, Lieutenant Commander Jackson reported. Configuration matches Chiron records of Void Collective vessels. They've established orbital positions but haven't begun planetary assault. How many? Chen asked. 7 capital ships, approximately 30 support vessels. Chen nodded. They outnumber us, but they don't know we're here yet. Deploy sensor drones and maintain stealth protocols. I want a clear picture of what we're facing. Within hours, the drones returned detailed scans of the Void Collective forces. The alien vessels were unlike anything humans had imagined, organic mechanical hybrids that seemed to pulse with internal energy covered in what appeared to be sensory nodes. Dr. Rivera analyzed the data alongside Thalir, the Chiron Elder. Their ships are partially alive, she explained to Chen. Grown rather than built, incorporating biological components from conquered species. Weaknesses? Chen asked. They rely heavily on a distributed neural network, Thalir said. Each vessel is an extension of the collective consciousness. Disrupt that network, and individual ships become less effective. Chen gathered her command staff and formulated a plan. The Earth fleet would split into 3 battle groups, one to engage the collective directly, one to evacuate Chiron civilians from the surface, and one to remain in reserve. We have 2 advantages, Chen told her officers. First, they don't know we're here. Second, they've never encountered humans before and have no idea what we're capable of. The fleet moved into position under cover of the system's asteroid belt. Chen stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, watching the final preparations. All ships report ready, Captain, her XO announced. Chen nodded. Send the message to the Chiron on the surface. Then commence Operation Thunderbolt. 3 Earth vessels broke formation, accelerating toward the Nilara colony world. As they approached, they'd broadcast a simple message on all frequencies. Attention Void Collective Forces. This is Captain Ilara Chen of the United Earth Defense Fleet. You are ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. The response was immediate. 2 collective vessels broke orbit to intercept, firing energy weapons that distorted space itself. Evasive maneuvers, Chen ordered. Weapons free. The Earth ships unleashed a barrage of kinetic projectiles. Simple tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds. The collective's energy shields, designed to deflect energy weapons, proved inadequate against physical impacts. The rods tore through their hulls, leaving gaping wounds in the organic mechanical structures. Direct hits, Jackson reported. Enemy vessels are damaged but still operational. They're adapting, the tactical officer warned. Shields reconfiguring. Chen had anticipated this. Deploy EMP warheads, followed by the pulse disruptors. The electromagnetic pulse weapons detonated near the collective ships, temporarily disrupting their neural networks. The pulse disruptors, based on Chiron technology, followed, creating a field that prevented the ships from re-establishing their connection to the greater collective consciousness. On the surface of Nilara, the second battle group began the evacuation. Lieutenant Sarah Okoro led the ground forces, discovering firsthand the advantages humans had in the alien environment. This is incredible, she reported over the comm. The gravity here is only 0.6 Earth standard. We can lift 3 times our normal capacity and jump twice as high. The Chiron colonists watched in awe as human soldiers easily moved obstacles that would have required machinery for their species. The lower oxygen content of Nalora's atmosphere, which would have suffocated most species, merely caused humans to breathe more deeply. The Chiron were right. Dr. Miller, the fleet's chief medical officer, observed. What's normal for us would be considered extreme conditions for most spacefaring species. We're basically superhuman here. As the evacuation proceeded, the collective launched its counterattack. 5 capital ships moved to engage the Earth fleet, deploying swarms of smaller craft. They're targeting our communications array, Jackson warned. They're trying to isolate us. Chen nodded, just as Thalir predicted. Initiate Faraday Protocol. The Earth ships activated a redundant communications system designed to function even under extreme interference. It was slower but nearly impossible to jam completely, a technology developed during Earth's own electronic warfare evolution. The battle intensified as more collective vessels joined the engagement. Their adaptive shields began to neutralize the kinetic weapons, forcing the Earth fleet to constantly modify their tactics. They learned quickly, Chen observed. But so do we. She ordered a new strategy, close quarters engagement. The Earth vessels maneuvered directly alongside the larger collective ships, too close for their main weapons to target effectively. Marine boarding parties launched in armored assault craft, breaching the collective hulls. Inside the alien vessels, the Marines encountered the true nature of the Void Collective. The corridors were lined with biological matter, pulsing with energy. Cybernetic entities moved with disturbing grace, adapting to human tactics almost instantly. But the collective had never faced human Marines in combat. In the lower gravity and different atmospheric conditions aboard the alien ships, the humans discovered they could move faster, hit harder, and endure more damage than they could on Earth. What would have been fatal injuries merely slowed them down. They're not used to dealing with our level of durability. Lieutenant Commander Katsuo reported from inside one of the collective vessels. They keep using the same force that would incapacitate a Chiron, but we keep getting back up. The Marines deployed specialized weapons designed based on Chiron data, sonic disruptors that interfered with the collective's neural network at close range. As they pushed deeper into the alien vessels, they discovered central nodes where the ship's consciousness was focused. Target confirmed, Katsuo reported. Planting neural disruptors now. Across the battlefield, collective ships began to lose coordination as their connection to the greater consciousness was severed. Without the unified intelligence guiding them, their responses became erratic and predictable. On the Dauntless's bridge, Chen watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. Press the advantage. All ships converge on the command vessel. The Earth fleet surrounded the largest collective ship, concentrating their fire on specific structural weaknesses identified by the boarding teams. As its defenses failed, Shen opened a communication channel. Attention Void Collective. Your forces are disabled. Your network disrupted. Surrender or be destroyed. For several long moments, there was silence. Then a response came, not in words, but in mathematical equations and binary code that the ship's computers translated. Anomalycte DEATHRLD species capability EXCEDs PREDICTION modals. Tactical retirate authorized. The remaining collective vessels began to withdraw, abandoning their disabled counterparts. Chen ordered the fleet not to pursue. The objective had been to protect the Chiron colony, not to destroy the collective entirely. As the last enemy ships disappeared into FTL, a cheer erupted across the Earth fleet. Humanity had faced its first interstellar threat and emerged victorious. The evacuation of Nalara continued, with over 150,000 Chiron refugees safely transferred to transports. On the Dauntless, Chen met with Thalir and the colony's leaders. "We cannot thank you enough," Thalir said, his skin glowing with emotion. "For generations, we believed we faced extinction. Now, because of Earth, we have hope." The collective will return, Chen warned. They rarely abandon a target completely. But not soon, one of the other Chiron leaders said. You have done what no species has accomplished in centuries, forced the collective to retreat. They will reassess, adapt, prepare. It may be years before they venture near Chiron space again. Dr. Rivera had been analyzing the data recovered from the captured collective vessels. Captain, there's something you should see, she said, bringing up a holographic display of galactic maps. The collective has cataloged thousands of worlds, most unaware of the wider galactic community. Many are marked for future harvesting, including Earth, Chen noted. Yes, but that's changed now. They've recategorized humanity as Class 5 Deathworld species. Extreme hazard. Direct confrontation prohibited. Rivera couldn't hide a smile. I think we made an impression. Chen turned to Thulir. What will your people do now? Some wish to return to our remaining colonies, now that we have defenses, Thulir replied. Others ask to accompany you to Earth. We have much to learn from each other, and much to offer in exchange. A cultural exchange program, Chen mused. I think Earth would welcome that. 2 weeks later, the Earth fleet began its journey home, accompanied by 3 Chiron vessels carrying diplomats and scientists eager to establish formal relations with humanity. The captured collective technology would revolutionize Earth's understanding of biology, computer science, and propulsion. In her quarters, Chen recorded her final mission log. We came expecting to rescue a dying species. Instead, we've discovered a galaxy far more complex and dangerous than we imagined. The Void Collective represents just one of many potential threats and opportunities awaiting humanity among the stars. But we've also discovered something about ourselves. What we considered normal, Earth's gravity, its atmospheric pressure, its radiation levels, has shaped us into something remarkable by galactic standards. We evolved on what other species consider a death world, and it has made us stronger than we ever realized. The Chiron have ancient texts speaking of guardian species, those rare civilizations that evolve in harsh conditions, developing the strength and resilience to protect gentler worlds. Perhaps that is humanity's destiny, not conquerors, not victims, but protectors. As we return to Earth, we carry not just victory, but responsibility. The galaxy now knows we exist. The collective will adapt. Other species will hear of us. Earth is no longer isolated, and we must be prepared for what comes next. But if there's one thing Deathworlders know how to do, it's adapt and overcome. Whatever awaits us among the stars, humanity is ready. As the fleet accelerated toward Earth, new signals were already spreading across the galaxy, tales of the Deathworlders who had done the impossible, who had faced the Void Collective, and forced it to retreat. Some species would fear this news. Others would seek alliance. All would recognize that the balance of power had shifted. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again.